Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Elise, and we'll be facing off against the Elder Dragon adventure from the Titans of Runeterra campaign. I figured since we're redoing some old content, I should do this adventure, and I figured I should use Elise here because it will probably be a decent enough challenge. 3-star Elise normally focuses on a more aggressive game plan, but especially focused on attacking a lot to proc the Fear Cleaving Axe and making use of the Death's Foil to overwhelm the opponents with large spiders that also get buffed up by the Queen's Embrace. But against the most adventures here, we can't really aggro them down because they have very large units of their own. So it's usually an uphill battle for aggressive decks that rely on the board, but we'll see how well we fare. Crush, Get Swole, Dragon's Rage. More keywords are usually good. I think giving Overwhelm to everything is better than giving everything Fury, just because it can help us close out the game with our units, which is something we would probably struggle with otherwise. Let's just mulligan everything. We just want to get Elise in our opening hand every game. Right now it's not a challenge because we don't have any other champions in the deck, but as soon as we get a support champion, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. Let's see how the opponent blocks here. Ideally he would block one of the spiderlings, yeah, perfect. He gets to buff his own unit. Unfortunately he's going to kill my Elise next turn because he got lucky and hit Challenger on his Gentle Gem Dragon. We have the Crawling Sensation or the other Elise in hand, so it's fine, or it should be fine. Wait, you're not killing the Elise? Why? That's huge for me. I can actually do the Crawling Sensation here to ensure that I have a full board next turn, since I'm going to level up the Elise here no matter what.
Let me change into something more comfortable.
This procs the Evolve. It allows me to clear the opponent's board, and I even kill him if he doesn't have an answer to all of my other spiders. Nice. That was a good showing. We didn't even lose health. But against other decks we might not be so lucky. We'll especially struggle against decks that have a lot of overwhelm units, because unfortunately we will just not be able to jump block them with our spiders like we normally do. Mirror Image is very tempting. We can double up on the Elise on the first turn. I think it's worth it, just because of how much we rely on the Elise for our game plan. The Taker, we won't be able to level up. Maokai is interesting because it has Deathless on it, which is good. A good keyword to share. And then we have Kale. Scout is a very good keyword. Anti-up means that we can play Kale in a more flexible manner. The other pickups are not that great though. It's either a toss-up between Maokai or Kale, and I think Kale might be overall better. Can also just reroll. We have a bunch of rerolls here. Let's reroll. Rumble, Pike, or Senna. Nah, these are all significantly worse options. Maybe Rumble though. Rumble with double attack is interesting. Let's roll again. Braum for a regeneration on our spiderlings. Twisted Fate. Or Teemo. Normally I would pass on Spirit Blossom Teemo because of how hard it is to level up normally. But the fact that the Spirit Blossom Teemo has Power Reef means it's a bit more flexible when it comes to playing this card. And giving our spiderlings elusive is interesting. Let's pick up the Teemo. I might come to regret this later, but for now it seems like a good choice, and I've already spent enough rerolls there. We get the Elise. I'll keep the Teemo. Keep both of our champions in hand. Okay, now we're guaranteed to draw an Elise at the start. We even get mirror image off. 1, 3. We can't exactly go for all of our champions plus the mirror image, so I'll stick with Elise probably. Elise mirror image. I can also wait for the next turn. The opponent's unit got Overwhelm. She's not great. I'll do the Teemo. This way we proc the Evolve. We'll be able to attack safely for Elise and our Spiderling. Next turn I can just Arachnoid Sentry to stun the opponent. That does nothing, because the opponent's Nexus and his units have tough. That's a bit unfortunate. The opponent just gets a unit, another unit with Challenger. I can't even go Shroom Explosion Arachnoid Sentry. I guess I'll do I'll go for the Shroom Explosion to remove that unit, and then we'll just rely on the Crawling Sensation to get rid of, or to deal with the fact that the opponent's going to get rid of the Elise, except he doesn't get rid of the Elise for some reason. Okay then, I guess next turn then is Mirror Image on the Elise, and then we just kill the opponent with all of our spiders. He doesn't even bother doing anything else. He knows he's over. Okay, things are shaping quite nicely for us. I still think we'll struggle against the last adventure or the last encounter against the Elder Dragon. The opponent just has such an overwhelming board swing on the first few turns. It's hard to contend with that. We don't really want the Necrotic Arachnoid, right? It's just one expensive, unfortunately. I'll pick up the Falling Comet. It might be useful. We have spare money, so let's go for the shop. No, on all of these. Sorcery. I'm going to pick up the sorcery because it allows me to go for more spellcasts, and since we just picked up a rather expensive spell, it will probably be worth it. We can also use it alongside the mirror image on the first turn. Another shop, slot bot, item chest. Let's go for another shop. And we're going for the bottom path. The top path is probably too hard. The opponent has that 8 mana bird that gets overwhelmed, and our deck will probably struggle against that. Let's try to get the Elise in our opening hand. That's the very important part. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, we can still go LD's mirror image, but the turn itself will probably be a lot weaker. Well, I guess we lose this game. The opponent dealt with my LDs on the first turn. We completely waste 5 mana last turn. Maybe we can manage. I'll try to do this to stall the opponent's unit. Maybe I can cycle the Arachnoid Sentry. I'll even use the mirror image as another cycle option. The opponent doesn't even bother attacking. Let's drop down the Rue, I guess. Don't do anything though. Can Falling Comet this at least. Or I can Falling Comet the Amalgamation of Vile Rights. I'll Falling Comet that one. At least the opponent's almost out of resources. You can sort of jump block most of his stuff. There goes our Rue. I'm going for the Brood Awakening here. Otherwise I won't be able to block the opponent's units. Let's stun this one yet again. Now he attacks. Well, time to use our Leader Arachnoid Sentries to try and cycle through our deck. Maybe we'll hit the LDs we need to win, but even then it might be too late. That's what I get for not paying attention against a Shadow Isles encounter. I figured the opponent wouldn't have removal.
Just like I taught you. Fang's turn.
But he did. Now let's just throw away a Spiderling. It's not like it matters, it's just going to be resummoned at the end of the turn anyway. Another Falling Comet. Guess that's one less unit for the opponent.
You like spiders?
I'll block like so. Try to minimize some of the damage I take here while still maintaining some sort of board. Just in case I draw an Elise, but of course I don't draw an Elise. It's just a slow death going on here. The opponent has dealt more damage to his own axes than I did. Might as well just let him kill me. There's nothing that saves me here. Oh, we just got unlucky. The opponent had a piece of removal in his opening hand, and I didn't play around it, and that just completely screwed my first turn. Well, now we know. Unfortunately, we lost our revive to learn, so now we no longer have a buffer when it comes to losing. It's just so crucial that we can keep all these on the board. We can't even do anything then. I have to wait for the opponent to play something in order to not risk losing the LDs on the first turn. Fortunately, he did play something. Otherwise, I would be very screwed.
We could use a bite.
Elise is actually going to level up here, maybe depending on the way the opponent blocks. Okay, she's not going to level up here. Because we'll lose out on 3 units. Well, at least we have the Arachnoid Sentry for the stun. Now, I would very much like the
Such pretty poison.
Comet to deal with that. Wait, why is the opponent not killing the LDs? That seems like a very bad decision. Oh, there's the Comet. Let's discard one of the rules, get rid of that thing. Ooh. We definitely want that on our next turn. I could try to go Spell Slinger Falling Comet there to get rid of its spell shield. But apparently I don't need to, because the spell shield gets removed by the unstable formula or whatever it's called. I didn't know that. Oh, now you're just going to kill over and die. Why couldn't you have done that last time? Why did you have to completely screw my run? Or making it harder than it needs to be? By just having the piece of removal in your opening hand? Let's do Vengeance. You have a bunch of spell mana anyway. Realm of Death, no. Adaptation. Adaptation is very good with our setup. It gives all these more keywords. Here we'll cut the Arachnoid Host. It's just too expensive to be running in this deck, I think. We want to go fast, and now we want to cast spells as well as pull the board with small units. That's the Teemo. Come on, at least one time. Of course not. The game is just extremely focused on messing me up specifically. The Brood Awakening. Just develop a full board of units, I guess. They'll all be able to swing into the opponent's nexus because Teemo has elusive. We can start buffing the opponent's units or my units like this. Next turn the opponent summons Shyvana. He attacks into my units.
Now I take to the sky.
He probably gets rid of the Teemo. Let's do Vengeance there. Okay. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. We still just block the opponent here. And he keeps choosing not to remove my champions. Why? Normally the opponents are hellbound on getting rid of your champions, no matter the situation. Can I kill the opponent here? That's not enough. Let's still attack anyway. The opponent can't stop this from happening. He rallies. Could be worse. Let's stun there. Prevent the opponent from killing one of my units for free.
How can I stay away when there's dragons?
Ooh. I really want to get the card draw off, but I also want to kill that thing there. It's not... Actually, resummoning, that's a terrible play. Should have thought about what I was doing. Well, I can still do this. Make the opponent's attack fizzle. It's a way to preserve our health, I guess, and the potential card draw. There's the Elise. About time you showed up. Just going to let the opponent attack here. Really? You're attacking like so. That's gotta be a mistake.
Come closer. I don't.
A challenge lies
Well,
ahead of us.
I guess the opponent dies next turn.
Smooth as silk.
Let's just duplicate the Elise. Actually, we won't get another Spiderling off of this, but we still get double the effects from the Fear Cleaving Axe, so it's fine. It's just a way to secure the victory. We already had more than enough damage just on these two Spiderlings alone. But yeah, this prevents that from happening. The opponent just being able to strafing strike and save one of the save his Nexus by removing one of my units. Regeneration on the LDs or Farsight Alteration. Let's pick up the regeneration. It can be interesting. At the very least it allows me to keep some more of the Spiderlings alive. Definitely picking up the mana flow. And we're going for the top path because there's no way I can deal with the bottom path option. Ocean Drake is just too hard. Obviously want the Elise in our opening hand. And we don't get it, obviously, because this game can't be easy for me. There she is. He's going to have removal. Let's drop down the Spiderling as a bait, since we can go for the Teemo and the Elise here. We have the spare mana. Now surely it's safe to drop down the Elise and the Teemo.
Hey, which way to spiritual fulfillment? Fresh start. Just looking for a sign.
So far so good. Let's attack with everything except the Teemo, because I don't want it to die to the Wind Singer.
Skitter out from the darkness.
And let's see what the opponent does about these massive units coming his way. Okay. That went well. You know, we basically full board. We got lucky and we hit Deathless on the Elise.
True beauty.
So we now get to keep two Elises, and one of them even rolled into regeneration. So we can safely take the damage here without even having to worry about our health. Let's drop down another Spiderling. I'm still vulnerable to removal from the opponent, but surely doesn't have enough removal to deal with the entire board. And most of my units have oh, he's getting rid of the Teemo. Guess that works, but I'm still getting my full health back. Okay, maybe I'm complaining too much. Maybe I should just let the game play itself before I start being so pessimistic at the start. Dawning Shadow, Falling Comet. I'll take another Falling Comet, sure. Champion item chest. I would really like some Deathless on my units. Maybe I can roll into it. No, but I can roll into double attack. And that's almost as good. None of these are that great. Sees Fury. I'm actually going to draw one of these at the start. I think that might be worth it. Let's spend one reroll here. Lethality helps close out the game, so sure. And now we're going for the Blackened Ice Dragon. No way I'm dealing with Portia. I just have to be careful when it comes to this encounter. The opponent has a lot of ways to remove my board and otherwise make my life miserable. At least now I can drop down the Teemo for free. Let's do Arachnoid Power as a test. Yeah, let the opponent play something first, so it gets captured by the Bowdeer. And then we can go Elise and Teemo. We'll duplicate the Elise. We don't hit Deathless, but we hit Lifesteal. That's nice. We can't pull any of the opponent's units, unfortunately. So it will be up to him whether or not he blocks here. We almost killed him, damn. We lose out on one Elise, but it's alright. As long as the opponent doesn't completely screw us here, we will be fine. In fact, I'm even going to go ahead and kill the Bowdeer just so I develop a full board. Okay, that's just one more Spiderling for me, you know. Well, turns out the opponent really wasn't that scary. Or I just got lucky. That can also be something that happened. Anyway, 128 damage come your way, opponent. What do you do about it? Yeah, the spell shield is not going to matter. He made a mistake last turn. He targeted the Spiderlings with the Frostbite instead of the Elise. And that meant that this turn the Spiderlings would get spell shield again, because they share all their keywords with the champions I have on the board. Piercing Darkness, Overgrown Snapvines, Shroom Explosion. I guess we'll pick up more Shroom Explosions. Save the reroll here for this encounter just so I could reroll into the Deathless, but we got lucky and we hit Deathless anyway. So now we have no reason to lose the next encounter. Let's get the Rue. Yeah, the Rue is not really doing it for me. I just don't think is that useful. Now, we play it slowly. We try to wait out the opponent's removal on a stick that he has access to here at the start. And then we go for the Elise. At least that's the plan. Unfortunately, we drew the mirror image, so we can't go for a free Teemo. But I can still bait out the opponent's removal with a Spiderling. He doesn't go for removal. Instead he goes for Cadegrin. That's probably the best case scenario for me, honestly. Because now we just get to develop our entire board for free. We develop towards our game plan. We attack with everything. And the opponent has to find a way to survive this. Not even going to pull with my Elises, even though I could have pulled with one. Okay, the opponent just accepts his death. That's a victory. We did get lucky though with most of our items and augments. That was satisfying, especially because I have actually tried this adventure with Elise multiple times, but I always lost in the second to last fight. So it's good to get a win in for once. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.